Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. I know many of you guys have asked me to discuss Kinobody's recent debunking of What the Health, and it's taken me a little bit longer to get to this one. I just had to take a tiny vacation from all these What the Health debunking videos that kind of get on my nerves after a while. Anyway, I'm refreshed, I'm back at it, and let's just jump right into it.
So we're going to break down the documentary and give you the truth about what in it is accurate and what is not.
Wow, you're going to give us the truth about what is accurate? Well, I'm really looking forward to watching this video and receiving the truth.
And so the first red flag I got was that he was surprised when he found out that heavily processed meats are not healthy for you.
What he's referring to here is how Kip, the filmmaker, mentioned that the World Health Organization announced to the world that processed meat is a Group 1 carcinogen. Apparently, though, Kinobody is not too impressed with that information.
Like hot dogs,
deli meats, bacon,
Lunchables, bacon.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they're not healthy. I'm so surprised. I was always taught they were healthy.
I know, and those things are packed with tons of
Who's teaching that? Nobody teaches that.
No one's teaching that? Are you kidding? I mean, there's many health-oriented websites proclaiming that bacon is actually really healthy for you. You even have certain TV doctors saying that bacon is really healthy for you.
Let me tell you, bacon and eggs for breakfast is okay because you got protein in it that's going to fill you up throughout the day. Believe it or not, there's fewer calories in this than in these two items.
Really?
And
so indeed, there is plenty of health messaging out there saying that bacon is good for you. We need to eat more bacon and other processed meats. But anyway, let's move on to diabetes.
So I agree with the sugars thing.
Yeah.
Like the carbohydrates are not, they don't, it does not cause diabetes.
Wow, I was actually really surprised to hear him say that. I mean, you know, certain unnamed vegan YouTube channels wouldn't agree with that statement. But let's move on here. Next, they try to take down diabetes research using a very limited understanding of research design.
The more carbs someone ate, the less diabetes they had. But meat was strong.
That's interesting.
But then here's also the thing is that they don't know how many carbs they ate. Are they tracking their food intake like in a medical lab? People do not report their food intake accurately.
No, that's been proven.
And skinny people tend to overestimate how much they ate, and overweight people tend to underestimate because they feel guilty.
Yeah.
Well, that's just complete nonsense. Let's take a look at this study that they're having issues with. The team of researchers includes Dr. Neil Bernard, an elite researcher in the field of diabetes, and it's a randomized, controlled clinical trial ran over 74 weeks, comparing a low-fat vegan diet with that of a conventional diabetes treatment diet. And while both diets showed improvement, the low-fat vegan diet did even better. The point I want to make, though, is that this was a randomized control study. So people of different weights and sizes were randomly assigned to each group. So it's not like, you know, all the skinny people went to the vegan group and they misrepresented what they ate. This research is completely valid. In fact, there's plenty more research done pretty much like this. Let's continue down this path of truth according to Kinobody and learn more about cholesterol and heart health.
He escalated into this completely non-scientific, and this is an MD, this dude, non-scientific argument about like just stuff that's been debunked for like 30 years about atherosclerosis and cholesterol.
Oh, really? So you're saying there's no scientific connection between dietary cholesterol and heart disease? It's been debunked for 30 years. Really? That's just completely untrue. In this study, which was published just a few years ago, it found that cholesterol crystallization is the trigger that causes core expansion, leading to arterial injury.
So what's the story with cholesterol and heart disease?
It's been debunked that it has nothing, like cholesterol itself has nothing directly correlated with heart disease.
You heard it there. Cholesterol has absolutely nothing to do with heart disease. Period.
Dietary cholesterol is not associated with coronary artery disease. Period.
Yeah. Even WebMD will say that too.
Yeah, even WebMD, like the most like
will say that
vanilla
there's
website.
no connection. Yeah.
Well, you can just sit around and say that on your hour-long video all you want, but if you actually go to WebMD, they're very clear about this. Says verbatim, how does high cholesterol cause heart disease? Well, it's when there is too much cholesterol in your blood, it builds up in the walls of your arteries, causing a process called atherosclerosis, a form of heart disease.
Even WebMD, like the most like
will say that
vanilla
there's
website.
no connection. Yeah.
And it's not like WebMD is alone in saying this wild, provocative information. The National Institute of Health says pretty much the same thing, that high blood levels of cholesterol is a high risk factor for heart disease.
Because
less calories.
They'll never look at the big picture of exercise and calorie intake and you know.
It's too simple.
We're gonna spend like 2 hours watching this and just keep hearing them.
It's gonna be
say,
the same shit, yeah.
This person that's 290 pounds, that's eating 6,000 calories a day, and also is eating meat, is gonna get diabetes or heart disease because of the meat. Show us an athlete.
Yeah, they keep returning to this concept over and over again, that only people who are extremely overweight, eating way more calories than they need to, and don't get any exercise, those are the ones that get sick. Like they said, show me an example of an athlete who has diabetes. I assume they mean type 2 diabetes. Well, it happens all the time. Here, just a few years ago, professional NFL player Patrick Peterson was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. All right, so Kinobody has gotten a lot of stuff wrong, but I really think where they went the most wrong was in their lack of understanding about how dioxins affect humans through diet. Well, first of all, let's have the quickest review of what dioxins are.
Dioxins are toxic waste pollutants spewed out into the atmosphere that accumulate in the fatty tissues of humans and food animals consumed by humans.
Okay, now let's see how Kinobody reacts and responds to the portion of What the Health discussing dioxins.
Like the dioxin argument?
Yeah.
Very illogical. Like, oh, the toxins in the environment are going into the grass and the plants that the animals are eating, and then the animals...
In turn... What about the direct dioxins into the other foods?
Plants, into all the crops that we're
which
eating.
is a direct process. Direct, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. And they made the argument like, oh, these other organic farms don't escape those. Well, duh, and so the crop fields don't escape it either.
So what they're complaining about is, as described in the movie, dioxins get into the fatty tissues of livestock, and we eat those livestock and absorb the dioxins. Well, they're complaining, well, wouldn't the same be true of the dioxins, which are environmental pollutants actually affecting the crops? These pollutants should be absorbed by rice and potatoes and everything else, right? Well, no. As this report by the USDA clearly says, that dioxins accumulate in the fatty tissues of food animals, not in rice or potatoes or anything like that. And as a result, the major dietary sources of these environmental toxins are fish, especially those in contaminated waters, and meat and dairy. Why? Because that's where these environmental toxins bioaccumulate. Look up that word. You guys absolutely have no understanding of bioaccumulation.
Of course there's going to be an agenda. No one ever makes anything unbiased.
No.
Why would you? If you believed in something, you're not going to make an unbiased thing.
Oh, really? I mean, that's what you're accusing the filmmakers of What the Health of doing, but isn't that really what you're doing here? Spreading misinformation, alternative facts to further your low-carb bias? I mean, you guys got pretty much nothing right here, as I showed. In fact, you're pretty much wrong on everything I pointed out here, so you don't really have a leg to stand on as far as proclaiming to be the spreaders of truth to all people here about what the film got right and wrong, because you guys couldn't get much right yourselves. Just keeping it real, not dissing or anything like that. Anyway, let me know down below, guys, what you think about the this original video. Did you see it? Because I said a lot of you guys wrote me. What do you think of their debunking? What do you think of my response? And let me know down here and hit like. Do you want to see more of these What the Health debunkings? Believe it or not, there's still more to do. So let me know you're still interested in seeing what I have to say about them. So I guess that's all for now. So until next time, this goes out to you especially, Kinobody. Keep it carb, baby. Keep it carb. No keto.